Good evening, everybody. I've been going through a crazy journey with AI music creation. I wanted to share the results of my AI tool application and critique. I've gone through a whole spectrum of stuff here, and I'm just going to jump right into it because I don't know how to condense this into 10 minutes. Okay, first of all, I'm not an MEd student. I'm a Master of Music and music Education student. And I was afforded this opportunity to take this as an elective towards my degree. And again, thanks to my committee and so forth for the opportunity to do this because it's been very rewarding and very illuminating. Um, I did two major things. One, I tried creating an original song using as much generated content as possible with accessible gear and no financial investment. And I also tried editing some of my own original music to see what would happen with the current apps that are being marketed through kind of like clickbait ads and so forth. So, um, sharing the old screen here. Whoops, that's my script. Um, the first part I'm not going to show you all of the results of because I've posted them in the resources section before, but just as a review, I used the AIVA tool. That's artificial intelligence video and audio. In this case, it's only audio, but I managed to generate a track and then generate lyrics and then also create more or less a hip hop track. Um, Again, with zero financial investment, and only the skills that I built, the only thing that I actually contributed to this composition was a whatever garbage rap skills that I have or don't have. My challenge to myself was I was going to try to create a track with under an hour, and I was able to do so, as you can see with this. Um, that's not counting the time I took to look through the app, but just like start to finish after having learned it and briefly. Uh, AI is on the rise, typing lines in the night. All right, really put myself great or good or the human touch that makes the first shine. Hey, I might write, but can't find depth of our stories timelessly entwined. If you'd like to see the full process of that, feel free to click on those links, which are all in the resources section. They are the top three here: tool review and critique 1, tool review 2, music generation lyrics, and the resulting track. None of these are for entertainment purposes. They're for review purposes exclusively. This is not who I'm trying to be as an artist, as to try who I'm trying to be as a researcher. Okay. So that's the first part. That turned out, if I might add to the like review and critique part here, um, this took me about 20 hours all in all. I didn't rehearse the final product, but had I gone taken this endeavor on, I should say, 10, 15 years ago, this would have been 150, 200 hours worth of work. Um, because I was able to generate the backing track, there's a lot I was able to bypass. And in the realm of a commercial musician, I think that I'm in a place where if I should be involved in the commercial music industry, it would be preposterous to not deploy this technology. Okay. Secondly, with mobile platforms. So there's a bunch of these. I tried Aiva again, Jukebox, music AI app made with demo, Deuce Loop, Linsil, Melodia, AI voice, Singer AI, AI music, cover AI music with a K, and AI music again. Yes, there are 4 AI musics. Many of these apps show similar qualities, user interfaces, paywalls, and results, and it can generate anything from the interest to anything from interesting to painfully uncanny. So I'm a singer-songwriter. I'm not saying I'm a good one. I'm just saying I'm doing my best. And I took um, my most recent original song, recent being 2017, and um, applied these apps to that song, partially because I'm sensitive to intellectual property and copyright ethics, and partially also because it's a controlled sample environment. I'm not saying like, I'm going to throw it on top of whatever I can find. I'm throwing it on top of what I can reasonably be critical of. And it was interesting, so I thought I'd share that with you. First, you need to hear the um, concept of the Beatles Now and Then track. If any of you have heard the last Beatles song ever, Now and Then, that's the title of the song is Now and Then. It's basically is a John Lennon singing and playing piano into a 4-track recorder in the late 70s, and then that kind of that track being kind of like just sitting there on a tape deck for a long time. And through large language models, they were able to take the piano and put it in a separate track in a digital audio workstation, and they were able to take the voice and put it into a separate track in the same way. And then Paul McCartney and Ringo Starr were able to create a track around that, and then they marketed it as the last Beatles song ever. And the results are sort of like it's a cool tune, and there's a lot of nostalgia factor going on there. Had this been a different like amateur musician, I wouldn't have been drawn to see it, but it definitely drew attention to the technology. So I tried to apply the same concept to my own music. Can I get uh, an AI to separate multi-track stems, which, by the way, is a very complex task if it's already been mixed down and you don't have the access to all of the individual tracks, as like the copyright owner or the mechanical licensing owner. It's sorry, mechanical reproduction rights owner. It's impossible. So I was thinking, like, what if I just get my songwriting partner? What if I see if I can replace their voice with someone else's? Um, so these are the results, and they range from the interesting to the painfully uncanny. This sharing screen is the original. And by the way, I'm using this because I own the intellectual property of it, and not because I'm trying to market my own music.
Blue sky, sky blue is my pain with a pill or two. Sit you down.
I'm gonna click through this a little bit so you can kind of hear the differences in the voice. Obviously, my songwriting partner Wilma is a contralto or maybe a mezzo soprano. Is that a female singer anyway?
Tender tendrils wrapped around path to the promised land, 'cause it'll be here soon.
So it's a well produced, carefully thought out track. Sorry if that's a bit hubristic, but it's not an amateur recording. If I apply this tool to it, try to take out the voice, it gives me a bunch of other options about which celebrity would you like to replace that person's voice with. And I was thinking, okay, it's going to completely mangle it. And sometimes it does, and sometimes it doesn't. So here are my um, best and worst of generations of this, both of which, again, were free. And I did not do any editing after the fact. So I chose to replace Wilma's voice with Billie Eilish's voice, or in the context of this software's stuff, Billie Eyelash. Here's what it came up with.
Blue sky, sky blue, ease my pain with a pill or two. Sit with the breeze. Have you ever seen? Come here soon. When that blue sky, you won't be.
So it kind of sounds like Billie Eilish. You be the judge. What I noticed as somebody who did a lot of the engineering on this is that the mix was outside of the vocals was unchanged, but the re-implication of the vocal track after it had been split out and put back in was a little edited. I mean, like not just the vocal quality, but like the levels and stuff. So had I wanted to do this and change the tone quality of the singer's voice anytime after like 3 months ago would be an impossible task. Why would you bother? And later I'll talk about why would you bother doing that in the first place. But again, this is an exploration. I did the same thing on a different app, also called Music AI, but I selected, instead of Billie Eyelash, I selected, I think his name was like Dad Bowie. So yeah, this is where the uncanny comes in. This had my wife rolling on the floor. And I had to screenshot this out of my own phone, so it's a little odd here, but sorry.
Sky blue is my pain with a pill or two. Sit your tower feet and take or two. And start back praying. Was a cup I could fill. I spend my time sitting out in the sun and getting sad with the breeze.
You can kind of see, like, I only did like 3 generations of this, and the third one timed out, and I couldn't grab it. But I had one that was like, neat, and then the other one which was like, please burn it immediately. So there's that. Okay, I need to pull my script up again here because I feel like I'm a little off track. Okay, so applications for AI music generation in the music realm, they rely currently mostly on manipulation and adaptation or creation of that which can't be monetized on a grand scale. It's readily available to create instrumental music with AI, but not original vocal parts. This is an interesting dynamic in the context of copyright law, like chord progressions, drum beats, things that are like rhythms, textures, instrumentations, harmonics, harmonies, harmonic rhythms, other such fundamental musical concepts under current copyright law, at least on Turtle Island, cannot be owned. The only thing that can be owned are melodies and lyric prose and mechanical recordings of the former. There's another discussion to be had here about who owns the lyrics that AI generates. So where does melody come from? Composers, music theorists, songwriters like myself, we don't know. Like somehow there's something in the spiritual realm about it that we wish we could quantitatively sort of like distill, but right now we don't know. It's like where did Beethoven, come up with his Fifth Symphony, the main melody. It's like we can analyze it, but we don't know how it was created and therefore have no model. That's something I think that's going to be held sacred in music creation for a long time. Outside of this, I tried writing a couple songs, and it seemed to me as like a relatively experienced songwriter, producer, engineer, performer that at this stage, generative AI music serves as a curio at best. There's no cathartic, reflective, therapeutic aspect of songwriting in that process. It feels like where the AI is capable of manipulating that which already exists, all I'm doing is mirroring it and manipulating it in the same way. And I wouldn't even try to market music in this way because in the realm of education, this largely serves as a tool to show students that you might be able to circumvent some of the menial labor of being a musician, but you can't supplant the human heart to heart, the mind to mind, the culture to culture, the soul to soul that connections offer through music. Currently, this isn't going to do much except for music laborers who might be able to generate a lot of music for YouTube ads. And I'd be surprised if that wasn't already happening. But in the education realm, if anybody's read any sociology or sociology of music education, symbolic interactionism in music, where music being a powerful symbol in the formation of young hearts and minds, honesty is the gatekeeper. Using AI to create music right now, from what I can see with my limited lens and time, is largely dishonest. And most critical, reasonably critical school-aged students could probably sniff out the fakes. It's also meaningful to note that this is as bad as AI is going to get. It will only continue to get better and better. And the critiques that I've laid forth so far are going to likely be broken and irrelevant in the next little bit. I thank you for your time.